Okay, so since I have been gone from real estate, yes, a while, but also from social media, and now that I am back in real estate here with Keller Williams, there's a ton of different things that I want to share with you as the year goes. But one of the things that I want to share is what I have been doing while I was gone, and one of those things is commodity trading, which I was doing with a friend of mine out of Virginia and another friend of mine out of Dubai. And how it all started was that this said associate in Virginia reached out and asked if I knew anyone that had jet fuel, like a refinery that made jet fuel. There's a lot of different forms of jet fuel that I have now learned that are very, very valuable. And then you have buyers. A seller of jet fuel is called a refinery, and a buyer is usually an airline. It can be as small as something as Blade helicopters here in New York City, or private jet companies, or Southwest, right? It can be bigger. And these oil deals, when I first started being a part of these and a part of these calls, is when I realized that if I knew people in specifically Dubai actually has a lot of refineries. When I knew these sellers and I knew someone who was a buyer and I could connect these two, it was super valuable. And in the beginning, when I was on these calls, I was like, what the fuck am I doing within these calls? And because you have someone that's looking for, let's say, 6 million barrels of jet fuel monthly, and that translates to around 395 million in US dollars monthly. And a commission like that is, you know, on a monthly basis, these are 5-year exclusives. So in real estate terms, it's a commission that lasts for 5 years monthly. It would be around $3 million monthly for the next 5 years, right? So what happened was when I got into these in the beginning, they were distracting me so much because I was constantly trying to close these deals, these oil deals. And, you know, in the back of my head, every single day I'm waking up and I'm just nervous that something's going to fall apart. It takes 7 days for the fuel to be tested, and to be injected takes even longer. So it was messing up my workflow on a whole different level that it never has before. But what I realized was that the reason why these deals often fall apart, and this is what I wanted to share, what you can learn from, is that if the seller is here and the buyer is here, you have 50 different people along this line that are getting paid and all becoming millionaires and making millions from this deal. So instead of it being a straight line from seller to buyer, or maybe seller, broker, buyer, it's seller, buyer, right? So it becomes so difficult to make this connection because you have to go through so many individuals who all want a piece of the pie. And it becomes impossible, and it usually falls apart. So that mistake I learned early on within that industry was that you can't give it all your attention. You still have to have your base income, your base cash flow, your base bread and butter, right? Which for me is real estate, and I did let that slide. So real estate is my main focus, and that is what we're going to be outrolling a lot of this year. And also on a different scale, this is just one of the businesses that when I was away, and I'm still doing now, that took a lot of my time, and I wanted to share that. And it's opened my eyes a lot, and I've learned a fuck ton in business in general, but also just how to handle individuals and handle situations on a whole different level. Like selling and buying real estate is pretty simple. Buy or sell it, boom. This is different. It's a whole different machine, a whole different monster. So wanted to share that. Hope you have a great day.